pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Sure. Darcy Kaplan?
Here.
Angela Brown? Here. Jasper DeRosenberg?
Here.
Tara Shields?
Here.
Here.
So we have some audience members. Thank you for being here. I will go ahead and read the Berlin Township adopted policy. So you're familiar with it. I hope that you did sign in. If you are a spectator here this evening, we have the sign-in sheet over here. It's great to know who has taken the time to be here. Adopted policy of the Berlin Township Zoning Commission is that each applicant or agenda item will be given 10 minutes or at the discretion of the chairperson to make a formal presentation. The chair will allow questions from the commission members in order to provide a timely and orderly discussion of business for consideration. Finally, the audience will then be given up to 3 minutes or at the discretion of the chairperson for each speaker to respond. The chairperson may limit repetitive debate, and all comments from the audience must be addressed to the chairperson. Lisa, can you verify that our meeting was advertised?
Yes, on the township website and Facebook on January 2nd, 2026.
We have meeting minutes from December. There's our organizational meeting as well as we conducted business. I'd like to accept a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve BZC meeting minutes for December 2025.
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. DeRosenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Shields? Mr. Gosha?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
And Ms. Kaplan?
Yes. So we do have two applicants speaking this evening. First one on the agenda is BZC 25-004, which is Hill Family Enterprises Ltd. Application for zoning map amendment and requesting recommendation for approval of a final development plan filed by Hill Family Enterprises, PO Box 302, Sunbury, Ohio 43074. This applicant is submitting a final development plan in an application to rezone 10.28 acres from neighborhood commercial district to planned commercial district. I'm not going to read those numbers, but address is 320 South 3Ds and K Road, Galena 43021. Our applicant like to please come up and present.
Thank you for having us. Look forward to presenting and talking to you about our development here on behalf of the Hill family and Rise Commercial District. So Rise is a family-owned company out of Indianapolis.
Can we get your name and address, please?
Sure. Joel Bruns, 5645 Castle Creek Parkway, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46250.
Thank you.
And
Zach,
same address. So Rise is a family-owned company out of Indianapolis. We build small bay industrial properties across the Midwest. We're currently operating in 5 states and have a number of sites already in the general Columbus area. So we're excited to be looking at a parcel in Galena for our next development. Like you mentioned, it's about a little over 10 acres that we'd like to rezone in order to adapt for our use. And most of our properties, we have a mix of small office spaces along with flex spaces, which have a little bit larger office with an adjoining warehouse on the backside, own private restroom. But the majority of our site are small bay warehouse buildings for a lot of small and medium-sized businesses who will store, whether it's materials and goods, or do some light package assembly, things like that in their units. Along with some secure paid parking behind the gate. All of our sites are fully fenced in and gated, so whether it's a fleet of vans or trucks or things like that are coming out of neighborhoods and into our secure facilities. So our tenants greatly appreciate all of the security we have, cameras, all the things around our sites. So it really turns into a community of small business owners who need some warehouse space and some office as well. So our site here is just a little under 100,000 square feet leasable across 7 buildings. So you'll see the main building in building 15 is the one that houses all of our small office and flex buildings. So that building, from a street view elevation, is definitely some higher finish level than some of just the pole barn type buildings for warehousing in the back. All that.
Just rendering down here.
Yeah, correct. Thank you. So that's the rendering here. Is the front of building 15, which faces the front parking lot and will be visible from as you drive by on 3Bs and K. So yeah, we're giving a lot of consideration to the front elevation of that building, along with, I know you've seen this before, but the back of the 51 building, which is also visible along 3Bs and K. We're proposing sort of a two-tone metal for that facade there, along with landscaping, trees, and other things to help dress up the facade and street elevation along that stretch of 3Bs and K. So, yeah, we have a pond on the back side of the property for stormwater retention, and we're happy to answer any questions about that as well. Yeah, I think that a lot that we have in the development text, that we can get into more details if there's some more additional questions with that, and just a general overview of the project and development, and we can go from there.
All right, thank you. I know you presented previously, presentation was what? Late
November.
October, early November?
Yeah.
Okay,
November,
it's
yeah.
been a minute. So thank you for your patience with dealing with this. So I know we had a lot of questions and suggestions at the last meeting. Does anybody want to begin?
A couple of questions. I looked at the properties over in Lewiston. I was at least there before. And I looked at some of the things that aren't allowed and are allowed. So I see people that have clothing wear, whatever, they wear warehouses and it's a storefront front, and that's fine. But they're gonna at least need two spaces where I could run a diesel generator in the back to have power in so I could do some testing in it, because we need a large bay garage. I was gonna get one of the large bay garages with the office space up front. Is there noise requirements out of this area, and if there's not any added noise?
Yeah, first off, I would say that running a diesel generator in one of our properties, particularly in one of our units, would be against company policy. So that would have gotten flagged, and it would not be allowed. So that'd be the first thing. Noise, the 15 sites that we do have currently, we've never had a noise complaint. And so typically our sites are very quiet. A lot of tenants are in and out, whether they're swinging by to grab materials and then they're on the road.
Guys
So
building hot rods out of there and that type of thing. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to put one, you say you haven't had one yet, but there will be a time that you will. And I don't want to be our site, and our township is the first one to have that.
Understood.
So I'd like to see somewhere about sound, that you can't be above 75 dB. That's typically fans running and things like that. But anything above that, you're getting above typical conversations.
Yep. I think we'd be fine with that.
So I'd like to see that in there. So I don't want it to be, party central over there.
Understood. Yeah.
I mean, I like the facilities. I've seen them really. If I could have moved in there, I would have moved in there. So
Glad to hear that.
the office spaces are nice. I looked at the whole thing. I don't know if anybody else has had a chance to look at them.
Thank you.
Can you specify where, as Keith mentioned, you would like that called out, but where would you call that out?
Where would it call out the noise
Yeah.
ordinance? I mean, we could add that to development text if that's where you prefer it. I mean, we'd probably look to you to see where you'd like to have it.
75 dB is your property line, right? It drops off pretty rapidly.
Right.
And you do have pine trees around some of the areas, and pine trees are a great way to abate some of that noise.
Yeah.
It brings it down.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that.
So I don't know which section in the development text would make the most sense to add that, but we can certainly add that as a condition here.
Okay, we can talk about that as we get further in.
Do the same for the light that we talked about last time.
Yeah.
So, in regards to the same noise, driving through there at nighttime in the Lewis Center location, there's an office space that has very bright pink light that shines,
Okay.
like it's very visible from the street. So
Yeah.
I know you can't quite, I guess, call out, you know, lighting, but how much light shines outside of the windows at nighttime too.
Okay.
So I guess light pollution.
Light pollution. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Understood.
Is there a way to measure that you're, or is it anecdotal, or?
You can do a lumens, there's meters to look at light, which you should actually do.
I mean, all of our lighting for site lighting is all full cutoff lighting.
Mhm.
It's you should have the specs in your development text there of what that is. And
Yes,
so
and I understand that it's coming from the inside.
from the inside of
Out. It's like a paneled hexagon wall, like a neon pink light from the inside out. So it's like if you're driving down, say somebody like that on 3Bs and a K, if they're, you know, out lighting, you know, just because there are at Green Meadows, there are really just warehousing, you know, areas around there, but there are still houses.
Yep.
3Bs and a K.
Well, I think one of the things that I will mention about that is, so the north. So it'd be the east side, so toward 3Bs in the case, the east side of building 15 is where our small offices would go, where our manager sits. And so we have a lot more control over that section of the building. So any tenants that would probably in a flex space that you saw, that they would be able to do some signage or things like that on their storefront glass and windows. That would occur a little bit further inbound into our parking lot, into building 15. And so therefore it probably wouldn't be very visible on 3Bs and a K. And certainly we would not allow any of that in our offices with any sort of light pollution there. So yeah, I think maybe we could add that into like supplemental conditions and safeguards and put that in that section as well, if you're okay with that.
Did you want to go through this?
I was just adding that in because we were talking about
You really don't have a section here that says somebody can't make it an auto shop. You could not tune cars.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do have
The
the.
permitted uses,
Permitted uses, but
we did talk about
so
that.
the others would be prohibited.
Right.
In development text, I think only the ones listed are allowed.
are
Yeah.
prohibited, there's just those 10 or 12 here that
Right.
us, and everything else under the sun
Yes,
is a no-go.
yes, we're
Those
permitting
tan
that.
booths under the sun.
We did talk about that language last time too, about,
They got to need a conditional use or a variance, and if we came back and said, hey, we want a new use for this, it would need to go through the process.
It would be, sorry, I'm Jen Hoover, I'm counsel for them. It would be, just so you know, you're not wrong, what you said, a variance or another. But keep in mind that what you're saying is just for the benefit. What that would be a use variance, and that standard is higher than say a setback variance or a height variance, which are area variances. So it's possible, I just want you to put everything on the table for you, it's just informational. It's possible that the smoother path, if that were the case, is actually like a modification to your zone than a use variance, because that standard is so high. A use variance is typically proper when someone would come and say, without this use variance, I can make no beneficial use of my property. Because otherwise, the typical avenue is like a rezoning, right? You should make your property through changing its zoning category. So anyway, that's probably more minutia legalese than anyone wanted, but that's the answer. And while I'm thinking about it, to both of your points about noise and light, the code itself, your zoning code itself, has some of those, I call them like big picture public nuisance kinds of considerations that him and his office could enforce when it reaches that level. So I'll mock up some language that tracks that. I also, food for thought, Mr. Rochelle and all, it might be useful, because I don't think the township has either may not have a decibel reader or any kind of meter for lumens. What I propose for consideration, I take my direction from all of you, is something along that same lines of like the public nuisance concept threshold, which is if it's offensive and like unreasonably bright, loud, noisy, smelly, whatever, right? And then that's it can be some degree of subjective, but it's based on the context, it's a little more flexible than, it doesn't require specialized equipment.
Well, you can do it on your phone, and I've done that.
Oh, okay.
The phone is pretty close to a calibrated $2,000 system to measure.
Okay,
I mean, I've got to do it, so.
got it, no, that's new technology.
Yeah, being an engineer, you do it.
So just thoughts for all of you.
And that's more of what along the lines of what I was thinking, because, obviously, people have different type of lighting in their house, and you can't go knock on everybody's door and say your light is too bright. But if they've got a porch light that's, beaming into your household, that's a nuisance to your home, you might go knock on their door, so. I agree with that.
I think that's one of the benefits of our sites too. We have a manager on site during typical business hours, and so our hope is to have a very positive, collaborative relationship here, where if there is some concern, then that can be brought to us so we can address it with one of our tenants and move forward from there.
Makes sense. Anything else?
So I know, I think we all have a lot more, I think we're trying to wait to see if Keith is finished.
Okay.
Alright. So, I had a couple of questions. In the pond, we don't call out anything about, the pond heads we typically ask for those to be, decorative in nature.
Okay.
So that, there's no stone called out in that.
Can I respond to that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, our thought here was that because of the location of the pond being so far buried in our site, that we didn't feel that it was necessary for some sort of decorative feature for that pond.
Okay.
If there's concerns about, just maintenance and upkeep, that's where we were angling it and thought the concern may have been coming from, was that we would certainly commit to an annual maintenance plan to make sure we're taking care of algae and things like that, so it's not a stale, still water back there.
Yeah, I would like to see a fountain in there, just from an aeration.
From an aeration standpoint?
An aeration standpoint.
Okay.
We have so many problems already with gnats and.
Even if they're being
summer.
treated and maintained correctly?
I don't know.
That would be the other alternate I think I would propose, is that we would
Okay.
do a maintenance plan for that
Okay.
would help take care of some of those concerns.
Okay.
That might be a little more cost effective on our end, rather than running electrical all the way out to the back of our site and then having the fountain there as well, and the ongoing expense of that.
Okay.
It tends to be cheaper for us to do more of a maintenance plan and treat it. And this the pond itself it's a 5-foot deep pond. Sediment's gonna drop, and so
Yeah.
water quality generally shouldn't be an issue. But that's what we had put in here, was just proposing that sort of maintenance plan would help take care of some of those concerns, if that's helpful.
Okay. Question on fencing. It states that there is fencing, and the text states that it's on L2 and L4, but I'm
It's
not
there.
seeing.
It's hard to see,
Yeah, I believe it's a dash line, if I'm
And
remembering
it's-
correctly.
but it's chain link.
But it's, so that's what I wanted to understand is where we go between building 15 and 51.
Yes.
Ruby's and K. So that's going to be a privacy fence.
It's a more decorative vinyl fence up facing
It's a decorative
anything.
vinyl
Yes.
privacy fence. 'Cause I don't have any pictures of that.
Do we have any on?
That was what I was just starting to refer to, is that there's no actual, you
So
have,
this L right here is where the fencing is.
you have an image of what the gate will look like,
Yeah.
the metal gate, but you don't
Yeah.
have any specifications for the
Yeah.
There's a
fencing.
small fence on.
Yeah, you can see a little bit up here actually. So this is the decorative vinyl fence that would go around. So from the gate, then you can see the decorative vinyl, and that's what would go in between.
That's what's gonna go between those two
Yeah,
buildings.
so anything
along
facing
15K.
3Bs and K would have
Okay.
that decorative vinyl.
Right.
And because building 15, originally we would have had some more in between 15 and 16, but now that
Yeah.
we've elongated that building, There's no need for it there. But then as you go around the back side of the site is where we propose that it turns into chain link
Chain link.
because it's more hidden.
Okay.
And so we don't want to spend the extra money on the decorative fence
Sure.
back there.
So, and how is that going to come out from 51? So that's what I was confused, is where are you going from the end of 51? From the end of 51 out, like, what's going there? Is that going to be a
that would be
privacy
decorative.
fence?
That would be
Okay.
decorative vinyl as well there. And then as it turns the corner and goes, what direction is that? That's west, I think.
West.
That when it turns west, that's when it would change to the chain link there.
I don't think that's called, I could be wrong, but
This is L, this is chain link.
Oh, sorry,
So
we're right there.
This is K, this is composite.
Yeah, so we don't even have fence. Sorry, I was
That's
incorrect.
chain link in the back.
Yeah, so if these parking lots there have chain link around that there and around that there, we don't have it all the way
Which is
across.
It's
shielded
not-
with the
okay.
landscape.
So it's chain link around here.
Correct, just around those parking areas.
And right
And
there.
so there is
and
no
right there.
fence right there. I misspoke on that.
C4, drawing C4, kind of calls out, where is it? Item K is the volume.
Composite, yeah.
I'm not on the same C4, clearly.
The F is.
This
the-
is my C4.
L is the chain link. L is the
Is
chain
yours
link.
the-
There's another,
So
in your civil plans, which is the
site
full set.
dimensional.
Okay, right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the full set.
Okay, yes, that's right, okay.
And then K right here is the.
K is that vinyl. But then
So you're using the buildings
Yes.
as fencing.
as your
Correct.
fencing.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
All right, and then, let me go back to the landscape. So your landscape around those, that's 51 right there.
And that,
And your landscaping, I know that we received an update, I need to go back to check if it was the same exact wording that we had, from earlier. Go. Landscaping, property line. Landscape all yards. Yeah, so your landscaping, so you're going to have, in addition to the two-tone on 51, you're going to have landscaping along that building.
Between the back of 51 and 3BZK.
Yes, yes, so
Correct.
along, yes. so
All
along it.
along there.
And then is that landscaping going to carry forward? I think the answer is yes, but it's on L1, is that it? So around the back side of it slightly so that it will help to,
Yeah.
it's not, it's,
There are some in between the little parking areas though.
and I know we discussed the last time that 15-foot buffer zone for the south parcel.
Yeah.
Because it's still considered a
residential
residential.
right now.
And there isn't a whole lot of, there's like a few deciduous trees.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of landscaping.
And that's where we're trying to do the 2-foot mounding there as well to give a little bit more of a visual barrier there.
I'm not sure I understand where the mounting is because it doesn't really show the mounting
Yeah.
on the.
Yeah, it would be along this whole back side here. that you
It
can-
butts up to the residential right now.
That butts up to the residential lot, that would have a 2-foot mound there, that would kind of sit behind where a lot of these trees are. There may be a few that sit on top of it, but it would be all along here. You didn't bring that exhibit with the red,
No.
the movie, but
I don't think a 2-foot mound doesn't really buffer any between a residential lot, especially like, and I know there are plans for you guys to move into that area eventually, but
technically you have to follow.
you have to
Yeah.
like,
I
we're
understand.
required for the, I mean, it's still residential lot, and
Yeah,
there is, I mean, a 2-foot mound that to me isn't a buffer.
And the
So-
landscaping still feels too sparse
Yes.
for what you would like for the buffering there?
What I would like to see specifically is that there's more added around where those chain link fences would be.
Because you've got
We do some-
dumpsters, you've got
Yeah.
that dumpster and
Would it help in those areas if we did a more opaque fencing?
Yes.
Would that be in lieu of doing more landscaping? Would that be acceptable?
for me.
Yeah.
Because the fencing right now just allows them to see
Visually see
directly
through.
into it. So trees are going to help
Yep.
with that, right? But if you be fine putting up,
Because even a chain link that has a material on it too, or woven in it, will allow that to be then blocked visually from seeing into the site.
I was thinking more decorative. Honestly, I mean, I would say whichever is the least costly way for you, whether
Okay.
it's that more decorative fence or
Okay.
more trees, I would prefer that.
Okay.
Just because even if you do go into that other parcel, whatever you have there, you're probably going to want something in the future anyway.
Perhaps.
Making that,
Yeah, I mean, we tend to be pretty sparsely landscaped inside of the secure fence facility. Like most of it is usable space for us. So getting the most yield out of the acres that we're buying, we try not to. But in this case, certainly there would be a gap between the buildings if we pursue phase 2 development here, then there would be a gap. There would be space for that. But we don't want to overdo the landscaping, and so
Sure.
I'm fine though if we end up doing more of a decorative fencing there or
I mean,
landscaping.
and really, like, honestly, all these trees on this south side are deciduous trees, so come winter time, you get no blockage whatsoever. So even if you're throwing in some greens in there to give some barrier, especially along those fence areas, is better than.
I do think that on some level we were trying to match the conditions that are even along 3BZK now as well. Like there's a number of parcels there that don't even have any landscaping facing 3BZK, and I know we're all trying to continue to grow and improve the area, right? But I think that's where we were focusing mostly along 3BZK. And then trying to find some compromise along the residential lot, particularly given our hopeful future plans for that lot. So
I think honestly, I would be happy if you could just wrap it around the end of building 51.
the landscaping.
The landscaping. If you could wrap it around a little bit more with some evergreens there, and bring it at least to if you could make it the black, especially where you have most of them between 81 and 82, that black mesh, but put in some evergreens there, just to help with not having that look, because you're gonna have that when you come down through BZK, you're gonna be seeing that as well.
Driving north.
So by the time you get between building 82 and 83, I mean, I would continue the black mesh throughout all of
we would
those,
do all of it.
but I think that you can slow down I think if you just beef it up more between 51 and 81 and 81, 82, then you won't see as much from the road, people driving down. That's my preference at least. I don't think I have anything else in there, sorry. That was mine.
I think you made one comment on the rock at the detention pond.
If there's a maintenance, and I did see the maintenance, I saw the maintenance, so if we're not going to do it, but we're doing the maintenance plan in lieu of that, and making sure that, I mean, obviously if something's not being kept up, then it's gonna be zoning violation, so.
Yeah, understood.
But I agree, it is at the back.
I think we just want to make sure we understood what you meant by the rock and exactly where you're envisioning that.
The stone hut,
because we have some of that.
Stone huts around the pond.
Okay.
It's more of a decorative inlet and outlet than just the concrete pipes that you see. And we do require that for pretty much all of our new development. And I understand what you're saying, now it's in the back. Nobody's really gonna see it.
That is on plans. I do think we have that on plans.
Really?
Because we're talking about the
rock is shown on
riprap on the outlet.
And that's why I wanted to ask as well. I think it's called out in the development text as well on which page it has. We we have a big set of plans we can unroll as well.
I remember looking.
If it's helpful, but I think we do call it out in the development text, because I know that was something you had mentioned last meeting.
I didn't see it, that's why I had it written down.
Do you remember which section that's in?
With the fountain.
Is it C14? Stormwater pond cross section. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that I missed it in the text.
We can come back to it. I'll find it while.
Okay, 'cause I didn't, that's why I wrote it down, was because I went through it a couple times and didn't see it.
Okay.
And where, on what page do you think it's on?
The C12 and C14, it says the plan includes a rock channel protection at the culvert and storm sewer outlets on C12 and C14. And so that's in section 4, or number 4 of the design standards. And so I did want to make sure that we do call out C12 and C14, just to ensure if there's something else we're missing.
This is, wait, that's the topsoil, where's it actually show the stone? No. That's an actual shower, and actually see. Stone out.
I don't see it.
This plan includes rock channel protection at the culvert and storm sewer.
And I think on C12 too, it has another image as well.
Yeah, let's switch it up.
Raised
So
concrete.
this image.
There you go. Yeah, so it's showing riprap all along the, all around that structure.
I have a bigger set if it's helpful.
Okay, perfect. I didn't understand that that's what it was. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had to look up what roof rack was.
Yeah, that's why
That's
I
a new term
didn't,
for me.
I didn't understand that.
Okay.
It's called out different than what it normally, but that's fine. It's there,
Okay,
so that's
great.
perfect.
No
Okay,
problem.
thank you. Okay, I'm done.
I can go. I looked through, I was one of the ones that requested kind of the, change on 15 to the sides that, face 3 Bs and a K. So by the 15, that side, the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, two-tone, but you also have, before it was all just solid metal, so there
Yeah.
weren't any windows, there wasn't any detail to it, so
Yep.
it was just siding.
Yep.
So you've added on building 15, the windows now on that elevation, to kind of spruce it up a little bit, so it looks more like a kind of regular building, not just a warehouse but, we requested on 51, I think your landscaping, with the mound and the landscaping that you have behind, as well as you mentioned, kind of a two-tone. I think, in my opinion, that'll dress up the back of the building, well enough. And to give you an idea, what I was looking at is I've seen a couple of the other properties where you don't have that landscaping, so you drive by and it's just a solid wall. And if it's right there, especially this was right against the roadside, it's not exactly a great look. But with the landscaping and the two-tone, I think you've taken care of that, at least from my perspective. Also like that, you redid your entrances. Before you had the entrance kind of through the middle of the building.
Yep.
Now you moved it to the end, you've got the emergency exit on the side. That helped alleviate, I know we had a lot of questions last time about, could the trucks make the turn between the buildings, and what happened if there was a fire, and how would they get in? So that clarifies it. I think the previous drawings even had some like truck routing through it, but this clears it up, and it's easier to see that you're gonna have the space required and needed to deal with that. And it probably cleans up the front of the building a
Yeah,
little bit.
we agree. It was a good change.
Yeah.
And so we're absolutely on board, and aligned with that, so.
And really, I think, other folks had hit on their items, but those two things I think were the main points that I was looking for changes, compared to your last version of plans. So I'm pretty okay with what's here now.
Thank you.
So I think most all of the concerns that we brought up the last couple of meetings have been addressed. Thank you for really being open to those things. We do appreciate it. My only remaining question though is a letter we got that was addressed to Lisa Knapp from our county engineer, Chris Bowserman. And it talked a little bit about a traffic impact study, which they said had not been completed. I know that's not required until final engineering, but I just wondered what the status of that is.
Sure. I'm not sure when that letter was sent, but we, in the updated and what was shared with Pip, there, and if it didn't get to you, I'm sorry about that, but it has been approved by the Delaware County Engineer.
I saw that. Did you see
I didn't see that.
And so I apologize if I didn't
They might
print
not
that
have
off.
shared
It is in the, and maybe it was the last version, the December version, because I know we had that before December. And so maybe it didn't get in this January version because I had sent it in December. But we can make sure to follow up and make sure you have that, and also Pip should have that online.
I know the engineers are not gonna let you get away with not.
Yeah, they're not.
But it's a nice thing.
They
for
have
us to
reviewed
sort
it.
of
We-
see and
Absolutely.
sort of know.
But yeah, I'd be happy to send that right after, or make sure that.
Do you have it? Philip? Do you have it?
I think we do. This is my packet from the last meeting. It's dated.
From the last meeting? Oh, I
The
need to
December,
check
yeah, it should
Well,
be.
this is dated September, so maybe it's earlier.
We did a traffic study, and then we submitted that traffic analysis study to Delaware County. And then they gave the approval December 8th or something before the last meeting, because they said, hey, we have a meeting coming up, can we make sure you have it, so.
All right.
You should have it, and I apologize, it's not
It's
printed off.
somewhere, so
Yes.
that makes me feel better. Okay, thank you.
This is the traffic study right here.
Oh, I do have that.
Yeah, but we didn't have that other sheet, so
Okay, okay. Well, I apologize for that.
as long as you have it, that's good.
Okay, that's my only remaining question. So we typically then open it up to our audience members if they have comments. So those of you in attendance, if you would like to say anything, please stand up, say your name and address, and let us know what your thoughts are. Right, Ruth? How about you, Phil?
I'm sorry, I found the traffic study.
You found it?
Yeah.
Okay, it exists. That's
Yes.
good. That's good.
Yeah, it's got an approval date December 9th.
Oh, okay, perfect. Nice. All right. Anything you want to add or question or query?
No, Kelsey and I were satisfied with the changes that they made for the previous meetings. The notes that I read, with the exception of the mounding and the found which you guys brought up, so.
All right. So I'm assuming you've made the trek and you are seeking to have this voted on this evening?
We are, yes.
Okay. Do we want to have some dialogue about what additions we need to
Yes.
make the language? So what are the bullet points? So we've got some landscaping enhancements. On maintenance plan.
Well, the pond maintenance plan, it is in
It is in
there.
there?
It is.
Okay.
It is in here, yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes, that is in here. But so the noise, and Jen, you're saying to make it,
To go along with our zoning resolution.
yeah,
You can make it one of two ways, right? Like, in this, correct me if I'm not reading you right. You can make it a subjective requirement where it's more like it's unreasonable for the area, it's too loud, like it's too loud, or it's too bright, based on, come down to the zoning inspector's determination. It's too loud or it's too bright. Or you can make it objective and have it be a set measurement, measurable amount. And there's probably a world where you can sort of make it hybrid. You can say an event shall exceed 75 decibels. I'm not necessarily advocating either way, except that without the proper, depending on how the equipment works, it may be easier to enforce if it's a little more like, we know that when we say it, when we get out there, it's too loud, it's too bright. Or, if it's getting complaints about it from the public, he goes and inspects, he determines that he agrees with the complaints, that we have a zoning violation. So, pleasure to the board.
And it is in our zoning ordinance already.
You do have language already about at least glare. The section I was on was glare, addresses some degree of light. And I suspect it also has noise. Penn made a point about, townships have the ability to issue noise resolutions, which people usually think about. Those are limited to residential areas, that the noise is generated from a residential area or a facility with a liquor permit, so bar, restaurant.
Okay.
So those are the only two places you can regulate noise that touch under noise resolution. Under zoning, that you have that ability to do that. So I wouldn't rely, for that reason, this isn't a residential area, right? So I wouldn't rely on a noise resolution, township's noise resolution to catch it.
So, where would you like to see the call out regarding noise and, like, do you have a preference on where?
Where in the text or which option is better?
Yeah, which option is better?
From my experience, I think a specified number would be easier to enforce on our end.
Okay.
Lighting, I've always had a bit of a struggle trying to, so if there's a lighting complaint, it's always really difficult to determine if that is a nuisance or not. And same as noise. So I think that the specific amount would be easier for our end.
Okay.
So just so you get a bit of engineering and noise. So if you're at 75 and somebody measures 81, that's twice the volume of 75. It goes in decibels, right? And it's logarithmic. So every 6 dB you increase, you double that noise. So from 75 to 81, 81 to 86, you quadruple that amount of noise. So that point, it's getting pretty loud. Racetracks would be at 110 and 115, they're very loud.
So what would be like the generator that you were speaking of?
It would be in the high 80s, low 90s. They're noisy. It's an engine running. So. And the thing is, you weight the average over a period of time. You have to do like an hour weighted time because it does have peaks and valleys in there. You weight it so you can figure out how much noise is really being generated. So. I mean, you go by and you hit like Jake brakes on semis, those are very loud. That's why they'll say no Jake brakes in neighborhoods, right? Because the semis go by and they're loud. But they're instantaneous, they're very short runs.
Okay.
75 is just what we're talking about. So 75 and maybe 77.
So how do you word that? Noise levels are not to
Above,
exceed
not to exceed.
75 decibels.
So here's what I have so far. I would put it in section 22 at the end of the text. Supplemental conditions and safeguards. It doesn't mess up your, it doesn't really matter, so it doesn't mess up your number.
Yep.
That's sort of catch all.
That's what I was thinking, yeah, agreed.
I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. So I would say section 22 of the development text shall be modified so that sound exceeding 75 decibels at the property line, and then however you want the light. And light that is unreasonably bright, flashing, and or distracting. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out. Is prohibited. To catch both of those things as prohibited.
I mean, that sounds good
Yeah.
to me. You guys said you're gonna have a manager there. I would assume this kind of falls under their purview as well.
And,
So
and
hopefully
I'll give
this
you,
is
so I'll give you the example of the lighting that I'm talking about. I'm taking my daughter to cheer. It is 7 o'clock at night. I'm driving down Green Meadows. There's nobody in the building and that light is still on and bright, so whether or not your manager knows because it's after hours, I don't know.
We have plenty of cameras around, so I'm sure I can pull up and see it very quickly.
Yeah.
We can address that.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just kind of my thinking is like,
Sure.
if it's after hours, do they need to have it on, that type, so that's kind of where I was aiming toward, like,
Could I offer one thought to that too, and maybe
and I'm open to,
that we have some language in there that talks about how it's light pollution that is facing outward, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
interior of the site,
yes,
right?
absolutely.
That shouldn't matter especially when you're talking about light pollution that is impacting drivers along 3 BZK. Like that's the primary
Yes.
concern, I think,
And
is
that's what
safety.
I like that.
And then
And the
it's the
property line
nuisance
distracting,
side of it
yes.
as well, which I can understand. But maybe we just offering that we say that it's facing outward, and
Yes.
that would be the.
Or time limit, when they're non-business hours, that sign should be.
That was the other thing I was thinking, like a time of day, right? Beyond whether it's past
Midnight and.
sundown or,
Right.
yeah,
Whatever.
or certain hours, yeah.
I would say, you know, can we say sundown or business hours? Because if
Close
they're,
of business, yeah, close
Close
of
of
business, when
business.
they're done, when they're
Yeah.
done with business.
I mean, our tenants do have access to the site 24/7.
They do,
And that's where we have
but they're
the
not
full
having an
down.
advertising sign up.
Right,
Inside that they're,
right.
you know, it's a salon. I mean,
Yeah, but we do have some salon tenants who are operating, they're cutting hair until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So maybe we could, if I would offer something, that we'd offer, 9 or
That's
10.
close of business.
Fair. Or we could just say, 9 or 10 o'clock till 6 a.m. or something like that. We'd be fine with that as well.
This
So.
guy that owns the donut shop.
Yeah.
but I do like I think outward facing is definitely more specific than trying to attend to, okay, well, you're closing at 9, but you're closing at 8, but you're closing at, so if it's distracting at the property line.
It sounds like that's your intent.
Yes.
Is your concern.
Yes.
So, here's what I have. Love it, hate it, I think it's sweet. Section 22 of the development text shall be modified so that sound exceeding 75 decibels at the property line and lighting that is unreasonably bright and or flashing and facing outward from the site is prohibited.
Could we add something into your language in there about the 75 decibels as measured over an hour or something like that? An average over an hour.
So waiting.
So that if we have some, like the Jake break example.
And you guys
right?
have forklifts running in there, and they'll make a little bit of noise.
They will.
So they will have forklifts running.
Yes, the answer to your question is yes.
Is that acceptable?
I think it's unlikely from an enforcement perspective that it's not gonna capture a single, you're not gonna be able to capture a single noise, you know what I mean?
Understood.
So
Yeah,
it's unlikely that
fair.
anyone's gonna be practically judged on a single instance of a single break being too loud, right, or even a backup, or a shriek, or whatever. So, however, I'm not opposed to any of the things that I'm doing.
I can agree. I can agree with that, just for their sake.
So what do you say, over an average, over an hour?
Yeah, I've waited average over an hour.
So that way we know he's if somebody writes in and says, I hear a brake squeaking, he knows he doesn't have
Multiple
to,
times a day.
he doesn't
Right.
go out and.
Garbage truck comes in.
Right.
But if somebody's writing in and saying they're running a generator 3 hours on it, or hours on it, then
3 in the morning.
at 3 in the morning, yeah. There's an issue.
Yeah, when I was doing it, it was 16 hours a day.
Yeah, because we will have that hotel right there, for the long-term lease, whatever, I'm calling it now. And that would be, I think my biggest concern is you have then tenants there, right? Sure. There's constant noise, running for hours, so I think that's really
So modified so that sound exceeding an average of 75 decibels
Or greater.
exceeding an average of 75 decibels. Over an hour.
Well, yeah, over. The weighted average over, because they take measurements.
Section 22 of the development text shall be modified so that sound exceeding a weighted average of 75 decibels over 1 hour. And lighting that is unreasonably bright and or flashing and facing outward from the site are prohibited.
I like it.
Okay, that one off the list.
Satisfactory to you guys?
Do we have to do anything with any of the other topics?
Do.
No, not on.
Oh, yes, the landscaping portion of it. So let's, when we go into section, where's the fence in the, there's some landscaping.
Well, there's, on C4, there's fence
16.
called out, and then
16
landscaping
is
too.
landscaping.
Yeah, so on
16,
16,
So should we take out the proposed mounding? Cause I don't think that does anything.
yeah,
We actually do need that to keep the, any runoff or anything like that.
Okay.
The
Okay.
swale.
I just wanted
The
to
swale.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, like, if it's not, again, save you money, that's not needed.
Yeah, thank you.
So then, extending,
so probably after the proposed mounting is expected, probably after that. I don't know if it would, I don't think it would go further up. We should say then, so Jen, this is in section 16.
on the southern property line?
Yeah, that the landscape plan will, wrap around the southern side of building 51 to, do you want to say like help conceal the parking spots between building 51 and 81 and then 81 and 82?
You were talking about both trees and the black mesh on it.
Yes, so the black
You wanna
mesh.
specify that that's what you mean?
Yeah, but I think the black mesh comes, I forget where that section was with the fencing. It was called.
So we would just call out the trees there?
We would just call it the trees there, yeah, and then the fencing.
So to include evergreen trees.
Mhm.
So it shall be modified to reflect that landscaping around on the southeast side outside of
Southeast side.
building 51, 81, and 82.
Yes, specifically around the parking and dumpster areas. Oh, here.
And fencing, we could add the 22.
10 is fencing. Fencing is proposed on around the backside of the development to have a 6-foot chain link fence near the front north of the development and on the section between building 15 and 51 facing the right of way of a composite privacy fence. So then maybe,
Where it says the chain link fence, is that where,
can we,
just say with black mesh?
that's fine.
Okay,
Are you okay with having the mesh on all the chain link fences? It's just that south side, right? On the
No, we do have it around the northern parking lot, just north of the pond as well.
okay, so yeah,
So
we
then-
don't need it on
I
there,
wouldn't propose
no.
we do it on there. And then it wraps around towards where the gate secures the site. So we just
Do you-
specify it to the southern property line.
If you propose the security that you propose for your clients, do you think that they would want the mesh for it not being visible, like their cars,
Yeah, it
the
depends.
items going in and out?
Fair point. I think it depends on what the uses are around. And so if I'm understanding correctly, which direction would the hotel be?
That's west.
That's
On the
west.
west
Okay,
side.
so that's the other. That's clearly the other side.
Yeah,
Cause you've got the storage
We
units
have the
to the
storage
north.
with the Hill family to the north, which again, that's being utilized as parking right now. And so there's a lot of RV parking and things like that there that are already sort of back into the area. So I wouldn't have that concern about that there. In that location, I certainly think we could focus on the
So
southern
just say
lot line.
mesh and on the, all,
We'd be fine
on the
with
southern
that.
lot
Yeah.
line.
Yep.
Did
Did
you
you get
understand?
that done?
Partly, we're talking about section 10, right?
10, yep.
Yeah.
So section 10 of the development text and development plan exhibits shall be modified to reflect that.
Fencing is proposed around the back and side of the development to have a 6-foot chain link fence with black mesh on the southern
Facing side.
facing.
Shall include black mesh on the southern
facing.
facing.
So how about to reflect that fence, because the fence is already proposed.
Right.
The change is the adding the black mesh,
Yeah.
right? So what if we said to reflect that fencing along the southern property line, boundary line, shall include black
Yeah.
mesh?
Yep. That work?
Good?
I just look at the sites here, because there's a fire hazard, there's no, if you're working here, and there's a fire here, you can't get out.
So he's talking about between buildings
Yeah.
61 and
Anyways, when we do these things in telecom industry, you never put things to an end, you leave an exit route, so that a person could walk through to get in. The path, just a path, 3 feet wide, to leave these buildings 3 feet up. That way, if there's any issues with fire, they can come over and back out.
Yeah.
And that's the way any racking system, indoor systems where telecom people are at, they have access to get in and out, because people have been stuck in the 50s, it was developed that way, that they have to have exit routes.
Our thought with that is that with our 60-foot drive lanes, that there's sufficient space for someone to get past. The spacing of the building, if there's a fire in one unit, right, they can exit the building and then you have
Right.
60 foot of space, right?
Yeah,
You
I
go
mean,
to the,
somebody
until you
had
run into the other
2
building.
EVs that caught fire, which is rare when it happens,
Sure.
it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
Just think about it in the future, maybe think, well, maybe we do just put a little path to guide people through the.
So then let me ask you what, I have my typical language about, I say various changes to the development text and plan reflected in the versions dated. What's the most recent date of your materials? 1/13.
Yes.
I guess would be today's date.
Okay.
Yeah, like the date on the bottom does say 1/13/2026.
Okay.
That's the
Great.
development text date. That's the only one I see. You in agreement with that?
Okay, does everyone want me to read it then?
Yes, please.
Top it off. So the draft motion says, I move to recommend approval of the amendment proposed to the Berlin Township zoning resolution and zoning amendment case number BZC 25-004, which amendment consists of the rezoning of 10.28 acres on 320 South Rubies and K Road from the NC neighborhood commercial district to the planned commercial and office district, including divergences with the following modifications. 1, various changes to the development text and plan reflected in the versions, including exhibits, dated 1/13/26. 2, section 22 of the development text shall be modified so that sound exceeding a weighted average of 75 decibels over 1 hour and lighting that is unreasonably bright and or flashing as facing outward from the site are prohibited. 3, section 16 of the development text and development plan and exhibits shall be modified to reflect that landscaping around the southeast and south sides of buildings 51, 81, and 82 shall be extended to screen parking areas, including evergreen.
Yes, that's in section, that was in section six, was it 16?
Yes.
Oh, did you,
Did you include evergreen trees? Or just extension?
it should
I just
say,
said it land, that's the one that just says landscaping.
Yes,
You wanted to say,
it needs to
including
include,
evergreen.
including evergreen.
can I just add that, so, to reflect that landscaping around the southeast and south sides of buildings 51, 81, and 82 shall be extended to screen parking areas, including evergreen trees.
evergreen trees.
Because that is not currently part of the.
So far, there's one more. I didn't read it. And 4, section 10 of the development text and the development plan and exhibits shall be modified to reflect that fencing along the south property line shall include black mesh for screening. Absolutely. Over there. Right, that's my intention. I could put a comma here. You want to do that? Is that, yeah, I would make sure. To the right and flashing. Good, questions, comments, additions, subtractions? Okay. Can do one of two things, someone else can reread it, or I having just read it.
Can I just say,
Anyone could say I so move, basically.
I so move to make a motion to approve?
Well, you say it's now your motion, I was just reading it out loud.
I so
You're
move.
making this motion. That's right, yes. Give a second.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Mr. DeCruzero,
Yes.
Mr. Goshen,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Kaplan.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hanging in there with us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
We will have a couple minute recess and shift this here.
it.
Okay, we do a 5-minute recess, please.
I know. Yeah, but
Writing other people's That's focus, right? Well, it is if you don't need glasses.
I can't read that.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like I'm having a bad eye day, but that's really bad.
It's about as big as you're gonna get it.
Yeah, let's just leave that right there.
Or that.
It's the screen saver. Okay.
Is that fussy though?
And, man, we got the light on. How are you gonna deal with it? Oh, yeah, genetics, man, I've got some.
Are you gonna, what are you doing with that? That's yours, for whoever, yeah, we can put it in the, I want to make sure I get it. I think I was.
My eyes are very good, so.
That's, there you go. There you go.
That's better for me, at least.
If I can, these. This is a copy of the slideshow, so if you can't see the screen.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. I got it. I was.
If we lose, I'll reach out to, we can reach out to Tiff and say, hey, you have email. Thanks so much. Great meeting
I got it. I understand.
Do you have any extras?
Still ask questions?
Yes. Are you neighbors? Yes. Might as well see what he's presenting. Are you guys neighbors too?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll have enough. We don't need. We don't need one. Oh, I didn't know, I gave you two of them.
Thank you.
That way you can see what he's doing and, we can talk about it. Nothing's really changing other than we're.
That's perfect.
We made a little first. Now it's like somebody else's problem.
Exactly right, yeah. As I saw that, I was like, hey,
There is one. I got myself.
yeah.
No. The other end.
I don't know where to start.
Like down there.
You put in the file, Philip, do you want to do it in the file? There's, I don't know. It'll be in the minute.
Okay, I'm gonna put this back into order, please. Any neighbors, if you have not signed in, please do so on our sign-in sheet by door. I'd like to know who's been in attendance. Thank you for taking time. So we are back in session, and we do have before us another application. This one is BZC 25-005 Peachwood Crossing, owned by Del Fontaine Limited, application for a zoning map amendment and requesting recommendation for approval of a final development plan filed by Del Fontaine at 6660 North High Street, Suite 1E, Worthington, Ohio, 43085. This applicant is submitting a final development plan and an application to rezone 49.70 acres. I won't read the parcel numbers, located at 2085 Peachwood Road, Lewis Center, 43035. So, go right ahead, please.
I'm sorry. Before we go there, I just wanted to put on the record that I am not an adjacent property owner, but I do have property within 400 feet of the parcel, so I wanted to put that on the record. I do feel that I can speak unbiased
as I've looked over all the text. It's just property, it's not my personal residence. So I wanted to make you aware of that.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time and consideration tonight. My name is Anthony Moore. I am with Ferris Planning and Design in Hilliard at 4876 Cemetery Road. With me tonight is Todd Ferris, same office. Kevin Kirshner with Kenley Horn Engineering, and Mike Shade, attorney. Got a short presentation. Really, goal tonight is to get your questions, comments, and work towards developing a really good community for the township. Again, the property owner is Del Fontaine Ltd. So looking for a planned residential district, R 1.85. Orient ourselves, we are at the northwest corner of Peachblow and Pyatt at the southwest quadrant of Berlin Township. This was a preliminary development plan that was approved in January of 2022. This is the preliminary plan as it was finalized during that process. I spliced this together from the original preliminary development document. 2 years ago in February 2024, a 2-year extension was granted for us to go through the process of finalizing and developing our federal development plan. The original plan featured 77 single-family lots, 4 stormwater basins, a centralized playground, and a centralized mail kiosk, the entry sign, and a centralized entry road. Our final development plan, largely the same. We've done a few improvements. What we're looking to do is changing our entry from our original location, which is the red box there, to the northern lot. This was for a couple reasons: to improve sight distance, to prevent kind of bifurcating and splitting the existing neighborhood there, and just ease for developing turn lanes and such into the development. The final plan features 77 lots, so our lot count is the same. Our density is 1.82 net developable. Zoning calls for a 1.85, so we're just under that. We have the original 4 stormwater drains, slight modification on the north or the southwestern one, which is located this corner here. Kind of just reshape the back side of it. Got landscape screening with 4 rail fence accents, centralized playground and mail kiosk. We added centralized connectivity through the center block there, so that residents on the back side of the property wouldn't have to walk all the way around the block to get to the playground. We've activated the open spaces with multi-use path and sidewalk. We've added benches and on the south open area, we're going to the field area leveled out for field sports and other play. The entry sign has been moved to the north, as I indicated, and the original lot. And I apologize for this. We're proposing that its zoning will revert to back to its original FR1 with the finalization and acceptance of our final development plan. That was supposed to be a separate application that went along with this, and it didn't get in. So we still need to go through the process of getting that application into the township. My apologies.
That did go to regional planning,
Okay.
so they heard that too, and they had no issues with it, but Christmas is new, whatever.
Just a comparison side by side. You can see that the layout is largely the same. We've added the central connection. We've upgraded the amenities in the open space areas. Biggest changes, we've moved the entrance to the north for the reasons previously stated. I think it really helps that the existing residents there on Hyatt Road aren't bifurcated and split apart. They're a homogeneous unit. Open space acreage, we're required 20%, 9.94 acres. Our total open space is 17.5 acres, which is 35.21%. I've broken that down to show that our open space is 11.24 acres plus or minus, and the area consisting of ponds is 6.26. So the open land area on the site equals the 11.24 acres, which is 22.62 acres. So we meet the requirement with a little bit extra. Closer look at our open spaces. The central open space, proposing the playground, which will be similar or larger than the example there given in the detail. It will have 2 benches around it. The open field area between the 2 ponds in the back area will be opened up to the play area so that you can throw balls, play catch. Ryan, my daughter, would be rolling up and down the earthen mound there, to tell you the truth. We've had that connection through the site and through the central block. On the sides where the adjacent properties are, we've highlighted the landscape with wood fencing. The kiosk is noted there on the driveway there. One note about the mail kiosk location: there are some requirements for parking and distance that come from the county engineer. So we're considering locating that at the back cul-de-sac here so that we can meet the county's requirements for parking and distance and curb distance. On our southern open space, we have the emergency access that was up in the original preliminary development. We've activated the site with a 5-foot concrete sidewalk. It will have 3 bench locations for seating, 1 overlooking the pond and 2 overlooking the field. There will be a multi-use path along the Peach Blow road frontage, and again, enhanced landscape mounding and screening. We have asked for a few divergences. The first 3 are related to our anticipation of having side-loaded garages within the development. First one is divergence of section 11.08 to reduce the building side setback to 5 foot for side-loaded garage units on garage side only. The total side setback shall equal 25 feet minimum on these lots. This allows the lots to be side-loaded garages. And examples here would be these two lots here, showing how we can offset the house so that we'll have access for a driveway to the side-loaded garages. Second divergence to section 24.03 to reduce the primary structure separation to be a minimum of 17.5 feet to apply only as necessary to construct side-loaded garage units. The current side yard and building separation requirements limit the size and type of building which could be placed on the lots. This divergence allows every lot in the subdivision to have side-loaded garages maintaining 25 foot or greater building separations, except in cases where a side-loaded garage home is located directly adjacent a front-loaded garage home. In this instance, the building separation shall be no less than 17.5. And that's shown in these first two lots, this being a front-loaded home and a side-loaded garage here. If you, with the standard 12.5 foot side setback and 5 foot side setback, looking up top, we've got that 17 foot 6 inch separation. So that's the purpose of that divergence. It really allows for the diversity of homes throughout the neighborhood. Divergence to 24.09 B.1 to allow driveways associated with side-loaded garage unit to be located a minimum of 2 foot from the side property line. These divergences allow for a greater number of side-loaded garage units to be placed on the site. And again, we're looking at the 2 foot side setback, and that's for driveway paving. That wouldn't be for a building this side of a home or anything. One last divergence is to section 10.06B, lot frontage. Lot frontage in this instance shall refer to the distance as measured at the 30-foot building setback, the front building setback. This frontage shall be 80 foot minimum. The code requires the lot frontage to be measured at the right-of-way. A divergence for lots 2 and 3 to allow for 72-foot lot frontage at the right-of-way is requested. These divergences does not reduce buildable area below the minimum requirements of code, nor hinders any buildability on the lot. And lots 2 and 3 are here in green. And what happens on cul-de-sacs and road curves is the angle of the side lots change the distances. And on this particular curve, those 2 lots fell short. But at the 30-foot front building setback, the width of the lot is 80 feet, and the buildable area is equal. The lot square footage is equal. It's just that front distance at the right of way. Another note, we were able to increase the size of the number of lots. There's a number of the lots have been increased in width, so there's a variety of building home sizes. So all lots meet the minimum agreed buildable area and square footage from the preliminary, but a number of them have been increased to increase the diversity of home styles. And with that, I conclude my presentation, and I'll welcome any questions.
Yeah, what the heck? So when you're asking for 2-foot divergency, my question is that a 2-foot average or a 2-foot always? So I can't, as a curved driveway might come around, it might break to 2 feet and go to 18 inches, but down below, it could be 30 inches, and you're averaging the average.
Yeah, I don't think we were considering that would be an average. It would be a 2-foot.
Because that's the way my house is. I'm like 10 inches away, and down the other end, I'm 2 feet away.
No, I don't think we're anticipating anything that would curve under the 2 foot. So that would be a consistent 2 foot along the.
Yeah, because I don't think you can put the side or those in the curved area, anything that's on an angle, it would be straight garages, straight street or house lots versus a pie-shaped house.
Right.
Street parking, is it single-sided or both sides?
One side.
One side. I was questioning myself.
Fair enough. Good question. For the emergency exit, are you gonna have ballers there so that people just can't go through in and out all the time, or is it gated, or how's that?
There's been discussions with that. I don't know that the county engineer or fire department has determined exactly what they would want, but we would follow their recommendation.
Okay.
There will be ballers.
Ballers, that makes sense.
There were discussions with the fire chief.
Yeah.
I'm open to what kind of ballers we use.
Yeah.
But he doesn't-
Yeah,
we don't want that for
flop
traffic,
over ones.
for vehicles.
Yep.
Is that Kevin? Right.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Kevin, okay, I thought it was you, okay, just checking.
Nothing. The divergence you asked for the corner lots,
Yes, sir.
I said no. I say combine lots 3, 4, and 5 into 2, 3, and 4, and then you don't have that issue.
Can you say that one more time?
So combine lots 2, 3, 4, and 5 into lots 2, 3, and 4, so you lose a lot. Then you don't have that problem. Right?
Well, look at that, yes.
And then, back a couple years ago, we discussed that these lots would buffer into these lots, so they would not be that high density. This would be you'd have to combine every other lot here so that it was feathering in from the neighbors here, that they were not seeing high density right behind them, to make it a little bit more pleasant to them to see that density of home right next to it. So that was, what, 2 years ago we talked about that? It's been a while.
No, I wasn't part of that original design.
Oh, you were, so.
No.
So there was that discussion about combining those lots into bigger lots,
Yeah,
as I remember.
The plan that was approved, the white one, they showed us that. Apparently we didn't have.
And that was when we had the entrance going down the middle and all, everyone was complaining about the lights coming in and
Right.
it was too dense there. They didn't want all the stuff behind the houses, because I believe these are like 1 acre lots right on here. And now all of a sudden they have lots of neighbors behind them. Never had before, but I understand they own the property, so you know, you live with what's there, right? But trying to make it a little bit easier on the people that have been there for 20+ years. So that was discussion.
I understand and noted, and like I said, we weren't part of the original zoning, and just, I don't recall reading that in a minute, no, it's not that it's not there. So,
Yeah, I think that was some of the stuff I remember back a couple of years ago. And then I let everybody else speak up.
I'll take a crack at things. Just to clarify, the divergences that you're listing here are new compared to the original plan?
Correct, the original plan had no divergences. It didn't contemplate, though, the reality of side-loaded garages and what we need to do to accomplish that. And we do know who our builders are gonna be here. So, this allows them to, it's very, same thing as Drees Homes. They got their models, and if we have side-loaded garages, and they would love to do them on every lot. So, well, to do that, we have to do this. Or we can just target 25% if you wanna do that, and we have no divergence there, but, only that. I think we probably rather have more side-loaded than not.
But I was
Yes,
more
correct.
around the clarification of,
Yeah.
I saw the divergences and I'm like, are these new? Are
They
they
are new.
original divergences that you're just showing?
No, they are new. The only, one that's, an outlier are those two on the corner. And actually, what I would do before I did that, is I'd move some of my 93-foot lots down there and put my bigger ones and have small ones over there if that's what it is. I'm not gonna get rid of the lot. So I'll just do that.
We could push that road out.
Yeah, we can do that.
Just to clarify for the commission and the audience, this is a new, like, while there is history of this property and this development, this is not a modification of a prior, for your purposes, the posture. It's not a modification of a prior, it is a new rezoning. So effectively, we're rezoning from an old PRD to a new PRD. Does that help?
Yeah, just to move that entry drive to make it better.
Yeah.
We contemplated, is it worth the rezoning? But to move the entry drive, we have to because we're changing that. And your code has a 20-acre minimum for rezoning. That lot's like one, so I can't just rezone that one little lot that I'm gonna drive. So in effect, we've opened up the whole plan.
So they get the benefit of the new process, right? That's why you're reviewing the final development plan, because, yeah, that's why. Not because it's a re-review of a preliminary, it's because it's now under your review.
So we're not a two-step, this is a straight one-step because it is a new application.
It still has to go to the trustees.
Oh, yeah.
Correct, they're not gonna come to you for this is preliminary and final.
Gotcha, thank you.
So then, can I ask, should we be looking at this like, this is what was previous and this is what's now?
Not
Because
necessarily, if it's useful as context because you remember or you, but legally, zoning, practically, code-wise,
I don't
it's
think,
unrelated. They could be proposing something completely different from what was before.
for example, I was not here.
Right,
at
it
the
doesn't
time,
matter,
so
yeah,
I'm looking at this as a whole new.
yeah, and they're presenting it in that way as well. So if there are questions that you need answers to, you ask away. 'Cause for our purposes, for zoning purposes, it's a new application. A new rezoning.
I'll reference it back to the.
You can.
I
It's good to have that history. So mean.
Sometimes I feel like it muddies the waters when they use the terms like, this is what was previously approved.
Yeah.
Like, we should approve it because this is what was previously approved, and I don't think that's the case, correct?
There's no inherent titles in.
Okay.
Correct. I suspect they're making reference because there's a point of reference. right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not because there's any entitlement or, you know.
Right.
And my understanding was when this first came through, it had a lot more lots on here. Right?
It did.
Yeah, we're starting at what you guys like. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, they're doing away with that.
I'm a little unsure how to treat your mail kiosk thing, just 'cause it's kind of a gray area. I mean, you've mentioned you're gonna move it, but you don't show the detail of it. So, I mean, I understand you're moving with the county on that, but.
Well, so yeah, there were some pictures of it. They're really just the mailbox, those things.
The detail there of the kiosk, I think,
Kiosk is probably the bad word, it's the mailbox location.
Well, it's okay. It's, yeah.
I think that's the concern is the location of the mailbox and the parking that goes along with it, not the actual mailbox itself.
Yes.
right,
So we can't approve something if it's kind of floating up in the air as to
Right,
where it's
right.
going.
Yeah, so we made the assumption you'll have enough changes, we'll be back here.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about
That's
that.
helpful.
Well, I'm not gonna ask you to float on this tonight.
Okay, and that's where I'm like, I don't.
I've never been here in one, come on, I know that. No,
Makes sense.
and this is easy.
now, in the binder, the exhibit C7 is actually the county's detail and requirements for their mail kiosks, mail locations, CBU locations.
I mean, on your divergences for like the side road. It's a hard one, because, I mean, we have done this type of divergence before to try to maintain the dimension overall between the houses, and then just say that the driveway can be in that dimension. It still gives you the look of the feel.
Right.
So that one, I see where you're going with that, and the reason you're doing it is so that you're not calling out, you know, these lots are by design. It opens it up to basically anybody who wants a side load, short of perhaps a couple of lots, as long as they meet that requirement, they can fit it in. So I think it gives you a lot more variability as opposed to the prescribed, these 25%. And my hope would be that that would give you a little bit more possible diversity within the neighborhood, so it's not as predefined. But having said that, how are you going to make sure that you meet kind of that 25% range? In other words, you have the possibility of meeting it for all of them, but you also cannot do any.
Well, we have it in the zoning text, I believe that it's a 25% minimum.
It is.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
So we commit to a 25% minimum.
Okay, I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, the builders, this market probably will ask more people that want side loaded. These are expensive.
I know there's a lot of question, I think the last time around, on the landscaping around the entrance. But it looks like you've continued that concept, with the mounding and the landscaping to kind of help shield any type of headlights on either side. As far as, even though you've moved it to the north, where there's less residential, but.
Yeah, it's always hard having I don't know how wide it is, let's say it's 100 feet, 100-foot wide entry drive and still giving you that exclusive feel. So to do that, we have to really go the extra mile. So we have fencing, we have evergreen trees, we got shade trees, we got shrubs, we got a lot of stuff in there that says this is my way home and not my way between two houses. But there's a big difference. So we worked really hard to accommodate that.
And looking, just exhibit C4, you can see there's a lot of planting material. There's arborvitae, there's things that we don't have to worry about. It looks one way in spring and in summer, and it is completely barren in there. So the arborvitae are gonna mix in there and help hold that.
Those are green giants, so those are the ones that get big fast.
This would be nice.
Yeah.
And I think that,
They die right away.
No, they don't. They're a cross between reds, is it red cedar? Is the number five? Anyways, they're a.
your elevations and your architectural detail, I didn't really have an issue with that, but I'm gonna bring it up.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring it up, you've got your stone detail, your brick. Give me information about your vinyl. It's got vinyl siding here. I wanna understand what that means from a standpoint of material. You have it for vinyl shake, but you also have vinyl siding exterior. And I'd like a little more detail on
Okay. Well, the gauge and where it can go.
where it gauge where it can go.
Yeah, we can do that if it's not in there already.
Three sides.
I think it says the front too, but it doesn't discuss like percentages or.
We can clarify. I would think the front we would probably have the majority, if not all, natural. Sometimes we allow the shakes at the top
Yeah.
just because it gives some of that stuff, but then you can wrap.
So it said PVC.
That's a PVC composite and polymer materials, siding or facades may be natural materials or high-grade vinyl.
I'd like the high-grade vinyl defined as much as possible.
We'll define that with the thickness. We did literally pilfer the zoning text from the original, so I.
Okay, good. Got one day.
Well, that's where, again, it was the basis that was approved originally.
And that was the thing, I saw the pictures, but I didn't really see the gauge detail or anything like that, so. And that becomes.
So maybe on that,
detail
like on that
matters.
preview worksheet, like where it says vinyl siding, like if you include like what the gauge, what the,
We'll probably just have it in the development text, that way.
Right.
Somebody doesn't have to dig through to see materials,
Yeah, because I saw, there's one that says like vinyl siding including, and then one that said vinyl siding level 1. There's one heavy duty, one light,
It's
there's no
usually more,
detail.
it's usually more, because these are the builders,
Yeah.
sheets. It's usually it's the colors that are available and included versus the level one.
Level 1 probably is no upcharge in level 2.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
It's more
I don't
colors,
know,
more
so
popular
we'll
colors.
verify with Fisher Homes.
Okay. The others, I didn't really see a lot of the other part. I thought the addition of a little bit of detail about the fact you're gonna try and make that southern kind of recreational field area.
Right.
You know, obviously to do that, you have to do a little bit more than just throw some dirt and grass down. You gotta kind of make it level and acceptable that.
Correctly fine graded, yes.
Yeah, fine graded so that you're not gonna have holes that people are trying to run through. But I like the idea of, even in the old plan, it was kind of an unknown area, just kind of a collapse. But try to identify, I know a lot of times when the developments come in, that's kind of what they're looking for, is kind of an organized play area for kids to, you know, soccer, t-ball, that kind of thing, where they can go, they don't have to go find a field anywhere, they can just kind of do it in the neighborhood.
The one down the street here turned out really good, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So I like that idea. You got your playground area and the mounding around that. I do like that a lot of the mounding, you try to kind of make it a little more natural looking and just straight.
As much as we
Your goal
can.
is to do that, yeah. I mean, some areas you obviously don't have a lot of of space, so it's gonna be straight, but more like playground area, the recreational area, some of the ponds. So you've got your fencing detail and just the 4-rail. A lot of times we come up with questions. That fencing, will it be property line? In other words, obviously that walkway is common. Are you planning to put the fence, if it was located on the line or in the common area?
That's a good question. That's probably beyond anything that we gave you. My guess would be the property line, because that way it defines, limits and maintenance. It keeps kids out of the way, right?
Okay, well, hands off to next.
So, thank you for confirming about the 25% more greater on the side loads. So my question, maybe I'm not thinking this through correctly, the diagram that shows the divergences to enable you to build more side load garages. If I'm correct, don't I then have to know when I build a house, what's gonna go next to it before I can determine the placement?
I would assume that if one builder gets a lot first, then the following developer is restricted then.
Okay, yeah, I kinda wondered, I mean,
Yeah, no, I think it's a first come, first served, and if you're late to the party, you may have less opportunity than the first person.
and I know you said these homes are expensive, what price points are you considering? And square footage?
More than I would pay. It is. 700 and up.
Okay. Okay, and square footage, do you have?
Well, I think the minimum we said would be whatever the code is. but
Right, okay.
Right.
I don't know.
Kind of wondered.
Those are big, yeah,
Since
I
it's
don't know,
starting
we can verify?
It's a nosy question, but.
Oh, yeah, I don't
They're
know.
big,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was, you know,
26,
contemplating.
2,600 and like 3,400, I would think.
What do you want bigger? Okay. And then, yeah, the kiosk issue, I'm sure you're gonna work through that, but that was kind of a question because where you had it placed here originally, it didn't look like there was a place to park. So we always worry about the safety aspects of that. I would just throw this out here, I don't know that other members of the commission agree with me. I have seen some of these CDUs that have almost like a little kiosk-y awning over them to protect from the weather. I like that. I just
Especially if it's one of the
envision when it's
cul-de-sacs.
sleeting and the postman is trying to put mail in for 70-some lots, and you're trying to get your mail.
Especially in the cul-de-sac, if it goes in the
Yeah,
cul-de-sac.
I don't know, it's an opinion, take it or leave it, but.
Yeah, we'll ask what the, yeah. It's a nice gesture.
And Keith did mention about lots 2 and 3. I mean, I think with a little shifting, you could eliminate that.
I agree.
Don't enough said, you know what you're doing. And otherwise, the divergences I do not have an issue with. I think you've delineated nicely what the purpose is and that it probably is an enhancement or an ability to make an enhancement. I have a problem with that. That's it for me.
I'm fine with these divergences because builders very much they manage that just fine, knowing what can go, what size property or what size house can go, what it has to be, which side it has to be a load on, if it's a side load, or which side it had from a hearing perspective, right? So I'm okay with that. I wish it was a full 25, but on the other hand, I would rather see more side load garages. And I don't like having to dictate which lots can get the side load too, because that can be limiting to the builder. So, because you're limiting not only which you're now, according to how big your lot is, you're limiting what floor plans can go on what lots. And now you also have to go back and say, I'm limiting that only these floor plans can now have siloed garages, right? So I am one for letting those future homeowners decide. So even though I don't love that, I'm okay with it because it's the siloed garage. I agree with Darcy and everyone else. I think just the shifting down for those lots 2 and 3 will help. What I worry about with the CBUs going in the cul-de-sac is a lot of times you're not allowed to park in the cul-de-sac. And even though it's not going to be long-term parking, right? I don't know how fire is going to react to that. So, because they don't, it's against
Can you pull that?
Yes, and
parking.
Back
Put
up
it
again.
in no parking allowed. I mean, that's what it is in my neighborhood, you know, like parking.
Remember what we did on that other one with Drees Homes where we potentially had a parking lot that shared a fire?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can do that here.
Okay.
But what if we can? That way the parking's not even on.
So yeah, you would kind of open up the emergency, that road, and put the parking technically
And I
on.
shouldn't have said that, but I'm just, but when I see that, it's like, wait a second.
Could go along
We did it
that
once before, the fire
direction.
department didn't have an issue,
Yeah,
because I can't put head-in parking off of a public street.
no,
I'm told they will let me do that all day long, so that's the only other way is to get a little parking area. So
okay.
I told you we were coming back, I mean, so.
But that was because I wasn't loving where the CBU was, where it was located because of no parking.
Yeah.
And then also, I just kept thinking like, where are they gonna put this thing now? I do love, and it's funny because we asked for it for a long time with everyone that was coming in, this was years ago, with a roof over the CBU so that residents, as they're getting their mail, if it's snowing, whatever, as they're getting, as they're opening up for the mail carriers, that they're more protected from the weather because they're shutting a lot of mail in. I would really love to have some type of building structure over that. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but it'll also dress up the area with it being in more of.
No, it would. This isn't even a concern. I look at your code, we may ask for divergence on building setback from the right of way. That would be the only thing, but if it's for that,
If it's
I'm
for
assuming
CBU,
that.
if it's for CBU, then.
I don't know if it pertains to that or not, but that's the only thing that comes directly to mind. So.
Okay. I wanted to know about the gauge of the vinyl, and then we've done this in a couple neighborhoods now, in a couple communities. There are elevations that are absolute no for me because I don't really think fit. They look very, very modern. So I'll give you an example. And we did this in
Fisher's got some pretty modern looking stuff.
They do, but for the most part, but they're like this one and similar is in, it just doesn't, I feel like it looks like an eyesore next to a lot of the other ones. And it doesn't. Yeah, being around farmland.
You don't like if we look through that.
I think it would be.
I think it'd be pretty obvious.
Let us take that to
Because
the
they're the ones
builder.
that if you look around farm, what
Like
this
the
look
farm
like.
lots surrounding.
Yeah,
I get it.
the more country
Yeah.
lots.
They handed us their brochures for this.
And I get it, but if we could exclude those from options.
Well, I like them.
Well, some people obviously do because they sell.
Yeah, some people do, and I think in the right neighborhood, right? But when it's rural, it's when it's more rural, and it's a neighborhood such as this that is behind rural homes already, it just doesn't really feel like it fits.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay, but you will absolutely know which one I'm thinking. So,
I've been to one of their neighborhoods before.
yeah, and again, sometimes they look okay, but I think where this is set, there's so many other great elevations.
There are. I was surprised at how many they actually gave somewhere. I didn't even.
Yeah, I mean,
We could have
Fisher
some-
has,
And then you offer all of them.
Fisher has really cool elevations, that's what they're known for, so. One of the things that they're known for.
Could you slip, say this is gonna be a Fisher home?
Fisher Homes, there's gonna be a section that Ryan might build on. So they'll take some of, because, Fisher doesn't want all of them. And this could change at any moment. But Ryan wants some of them, and then, Kieran, who's Dell Fountain or whatever, there's gonna be like 8 custom built.
Okay.
So, there's gonna be a variety in here, it won't be the same. But,
Yeah,
and like you said, each one of them has a different requirement for
yeah.
So we have a lot of different lot sizes going on, just so everybody can play in the same place.
I love where the entrance has been moved though.
Good.
I did not like it in between properties before, so I'm very happy that we're at this end, at the one end, because I think that's much nicer for the neighbors, that it doesn't feel like now we just have people driving in between our houses where we never had that before. Obviously, it's still gonna be an inconvenience for the one neighbor, but I do really like how we kept all of that landscaping, the fence, everything. Yes, and I would like the fence on the lot lines where it's going through.
No, between the.
Yeah, between the
walkthroughs,
lots. I think those could be on the lot lines, that way there's no question about who's responsible for mowing what, so.
Right. We'll get the happy old guy though that lives on one of those, and he'll mow
Yes.
it before the.
Before anyone else. Make it match. That's what I had.
Make it blue?
No, me.
I feel like I have to keep like looking over the projector at you. I feel like I'm like peeking at you. So one, I don't think it was you, but one type of like when we're talking about all these houses being right in a row and this whole side load, front load thing and the setbacks, we've mentioned in the past is mirroring the side load garages so that it's driveway to driveway to kind of make it balance backwards again, so it's not like side load, then driveway, then side load again. So I don't know if that's an option for you too, to kind of make it a little bit more unique and not seem so cookie cutter, high and dry. I don't know if that's a possibility, just wanted to throw that suggestion out there. Because in my notes I had, well, I saw that you called out the minimum of 20 lots. I almost felt like because of the divergence, I almost felt like a maximum also needed to be called out just because of that divergence. Like if we're doing all of them at 17.5 feet, you know, and.
Well, that's only if it's next to a front load.
Yes.
Right, you know what I'm saying, but just because, you know, I just wanted to make sure, it just felt off to me. So I just wanted to throw, again, after listening to the discussion about it, I'm okay with it, but wanted to throw out the driveway to driveway, you know, if that's a possibility, and that helps alleviate some of those side load to front load on the other side, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then the divergence, which we talked about the shift, it doesn't affect the 22 and 23 for the right of way and the 80 feet.
No.
I just wanted to make sure I had called it out because it wasn't called out in the development text as far as the number of lots, the numbered lots, I should say, not number of lots, but that it was just 2 and 3.
Correct, it's just 2 and 3.
Yeah, it doesn't call that out in the development text.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yes.
It doesn't say exactly which 2 or 1?
I don't think so.
Okay, well.
Because I said, are these for lots 2 and 6 or 22 and 23? It just says lots shall have a minimum width of 80, divergence has been requested.
Okay. Well, we'll clarify.
So just
that.
making
Well,
sure it's clear.
It sounds like we're gonna get rid of it.
Yeah, if you're getting rid of it, great, but if not, then clarify.
Okay.
On page 15, you talked about the existing surrounding uses. and it says it talks about the west, the north, the east, and then the southern boundary is across from Peach Blow Road from Peach Blow Crossing Elementary. And it, like, I feel like it does kind of call out that east on the south, but I feel like that lot on that south corner is still a huge portion of that FR1. And I just want to make sure that that family is included on the, where that open field is, and just making sure it's screened really well for them. That they're not having kids who are playing in, that are playing in that lot, the lot to the east of it.
It looks like it's to the south from the picture.
Or it looks like it's this lot right here.
I will get to it. Oh, add it.
Right there.
So this one is a really big, like, farm lot.
Yes.
So just making sure, like, I don't know if there's any fencing or anything to make,
The plans right now are showing mounding and evergreen
Okay.
plantings.
I almost would prefer fencing, because if you've got the recreational field sports area, and I know my kids, and I know that they run, if they're running amok in the neighborhood, and that area is kind of cut off from the neighborhood. So if they're going there on their own, and I just want to make sure that they don't feel like they can walk into.
No, I understand. Can you define what you mean by fence?
Just like the split rail fence.
The split rail fence?
Yeah, just some sort of delineation, I just feel like with the access for the common areas, a lot is a lot, you're watching your kid out back, but maybe not when it's just open for everybody.
All right. So the same landscape accent fence that we're using elsewhere is kind of what you're doing.
Yes, or even just talking with the residents, whatever they might.
Sure.
They may not prefer it. I don't know, but and then also you've got the walking path there, but just again, that is so cut off from the rest of the neighborhood, and there's that pond that's almost blocking that. Peach Blow Road's right there, and I don't want to see little kids, trying to cross the road to get to the school, or, just some sort of, way to keep them in. So I don't know if there's the same split rail fence on Peach Blow too. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
I just get worried about young children and it being kind of off by itself.
Sure. I admire that. Thank you.
It's kind of what we did.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So that was my only thing about that top corner. The lots that are adjacent to the open field area where the top lot is.
Yes.
Is there any delineation between the lots and the open field? Or does it just kind of go into that?
Yeah, we haven't.
Right here.
I don't think we've looked closely at that. Okay.
Maybe have a location where you'd like, I've seen them put markers at their property pins where there's been a bush or a tree. I've seen fencing, I've seen whatever. You're just trying to make sure that
they know that it's somebody's property.
Well, and I know we had, I can't remember the neighborhood that did it. They put markers there to make sure that if I bought that lot, I didn't extend my backyard into the common space.
Right.
Because that's the other issue that comes up.
it is, it grow.
Because some, and it has happened in my parents' neighborhood, is that there's a big field behind a lot of the houses, and it's nice, sometimes it's nice to view it as an open field and you don't want something there, but at the same time, do you want kids coming onto your lot? Do you want, vice versa?
I think if you were, maybe an easier way to solve it, if you were to take some bushes, add some additional landscaping to the back, and it doesn't have to be a lot, it just has to be something that's noticeable.
Yeah.
1 to 2 bushes per
Lot.
Per
Where's
lot.
the back of my property? And
Exactly, it's a good Some
start.
builders, what they've done is they've actually done like a
Corner bed.
corner bed, yeah, with a tree in it to signify that's where yours ends and this is where the common area starts. So,
Yeah, the rest of them are pretty self-evident,
Yes.
those 5 are.
There's a pond there, you're not gonna expand much further.
Right. Okay, no, I think we can look at that too.
You know, I was just thinking with the tot lot and the, you know, little kids running and then, you know, you've got kids running into your backyard, if, you know, whether you want them to or not sometimes, depending on the age. Then I had that one I pulled out. The railroad buffer that we required was a little bit confusing. So on C1, it calls out the 4 to 6 foot mound with deciduous and evergreen trees, and our requirement is a 6 foot mound, mounding planting or wall/fence. So I know like a lot of the areas on the northwest corner, I have to look at, I feel like I need to try to keep it. So that like that northwest corner, you've got, these are all evergreens, you know. Good buffer, what's required. But the mounds, they say 4 to 6 foot with deciduous and evergreen. And I'm kind of afraid that if we don't call out like an actual 6 foot mound, and you've got a 4 foot mound with a deciduous tree, there's no, like the opacity goes away during the winter, then you've only got a 4 foot mound. I was trying to look through the landscaping to look at the actual types of trees in those mounds that were kind of clustered together, and I had a hard time picturing and making sure that it was actually covered at times, because that railroad is right there.
Yes, yes. This is better delineation of
Yes.
surrounding and screening, and evergreen anywhere that mound is limited below 6 foot.
Yes. So I mean, even if it's just making it a 6 foot mound, like we require.
Because of the angle of the property to the railroad,
Who's hiding it?
we've got that wedge, so we get to the triangle. I don't know that there's necessarily enough room everywhere for me to get up to 6 feet.
Yeah, and like lot 6, I couldn't quite. I mean, it was just really hard to tell what plants were where.
Well, we could provide an enlargement along there.
Yes, we can do that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, as far as
Even on the somewhat enlarged, it wasn't.
We get to see it on a computer screen, it's really big.
yeah.
But, no, if there's a lot of it, we're not gonna have any mounting. I mean, we've got the ponds, and then there's that easement, so, we're limited with what we can do there. So, we're really gonna be packing in a lot of evergreen material.
Yes, and I would recommend, I think I've told you this before, is stay away from Colorado spruce.
We don't plant those anymore because of the problems they have.
It's listed in here.
Well, I let me know who put that on there, and I'm gonna fire him tomorrow. That wasn't you, was it?
So,
draw lots, not trees.
Okay.
so
The
just so you
Colorado
know,
spruce we don't use.
there are 30 listed, so just,
Oh, well, those will be on there tomorrow.
okay. I'll check you next time.
That'd be firewood.
But yeah, so those were a part of that, cluster, and I understand your limited space when it comes to the barriers because of the ponds and because of the lot lines and the easement and things like that. But having just those single, even though they're groups of single types of trees, it's gonna take a while for them to fill in to block that railroad. So even if there's any movement on like staggering to try to make sure that I I worry that that railroad is so close.
No, unfortunately, it's there.
Parking, PCU, I had that down. My only other thought was Seven Hills wanted the pathway to the church. Was that considered for this neighborhood at all?
Well, I don't know if exactly Seven Hills wanted it, but the church didn't want it, I know that.
Didn't want it?
No, there's, you don't want me to go into that.
Okay, I just, and if not, it's okay.
I would,
Cause I just thought there was
do you think that these folks might wanna walk to the temple? No? Would there be the ability, do you wanna have the ability to have a walking path over there?
Cause I was just thinking, you know, that's a really, you know, easy.
Because I have a feeling that we will get.
When I say I'm close, I'm close enough to know there's a lot of walking on Pyatt, and that scares me to death.
Yeah, we can, what we can do is show a pathway that goes to the church, the temple property line.
Okay, so whether that's I'm totally serious on this, just a path along the entrance, I don't know, but something that keeps people off the road, because they are walking along the road. And I've called the sheriff a couple times. So any way that we can get pathways along Pyatt would be wonderful. Or connectors, like, you know, because even connectors from how we would go through the neighborhood, you know, would be awesome, I think.
Yeah, because we have the sidewalks on the other side, so that makes sense. I just know there was issues with that person.
Okay, if they don't want it.
Exactly, but we can get to the property line, and if they're going there, eventually there'll be something.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, like, we talk about the multi-use pass through the area anyways, you know, so if we already have the multi-use path on Peach Blow, and that goes through, you know, the emergency access through the sidewalks and down the driveway, and they can get down to Peach Blow there, or to Pyatt there, great, you know.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea, it is. I just control this.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Any other comments here? Invite you guys. I have two items I was gonna flag. One is on page 5 of the development text, and it goes on to the top of 6. It has to do with, it says conditional uses as defined in section 11.04 are permitted conditional uses. I think what's meant there is that they are included in here as conditional uses that someone could then apply to the BZA for in the future.
Okay.
But that it says permitted, that just starts to muddy the waters, permitted versus what's permitted.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's saying,
No.
the commission is gonna waive match 1 and they're now permitted, because obviously they can't do that.
Okay, so there's.
If you would take out the word permitted,
I'll just take out the word.
I would be very happy.
Sure.
Great.
There you go.
I was reading that.
We're easy.
Listing all the,
Yeah.
I was listing the child daycare uses, temporary structures, and just kept listing all the things. I think it was just being.
And then same, I guess, similar comment to the line that made it onto the next page. Maximum of 2 model homes. I mean, that's gonna have to follow a separate process to get that. The BZA will approve conditional uses. You do zoning first and then.
What's your comment though with that?
It's okay, I just want folks to know that it's not like automatically approved. by virtue of this.
So we should say that needs to be approved through the BZA or something, or we want to add that?
Let me think about it. I think I'm okay with it, I just don't want there to be a presumption that.
Because
It's
the
automatic.
process makes you go. through
Yeah, as
BZA
long as
no
they're
matter
planning
what.
to go, so some Fisher, Ryan, whoever, is knowing they have to go to the BZA and get that conditional use, I'm fine, as long as there's just not.
So they still have to get a conditional use permit through the BZA, maybe we just say that.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get. And then the other item has to do with that FR1 strip.
Yes.
Does anyone know how, you said regional planning looked at it?
Yes.
How did they get it?
They got it with 2 applications, There was a little application, well,
So they got an application that was, and this is not critical or, earth shattering, but they got an application that the township didn't get? Like, it hasn't been submitted to the township, it was just submitted to regional.
so Kelsey had us take that directly up to regional planning and submit that book and those two applications in the feed directly to regional planning. And she says, we don't take our applications till the 30th. You have till then to make your 20 votes. So we did, and when we did that, we forgot to bring in the FR1 application on that date between the two. So that's our fault that we didn't bring that FR1. So they had that, so we need to file that and be advertised.
Like, where I'm going with this, and this is just like stream of consciousness, it's probably a conversation for offline, but the high points are, it makes sense to me, maybe that's up to you, it's not up to me. Makes sense to me to run that rezoning at the same time as this one.
Exactly. Well, there was the intention.
And so as I was sitting here, I was like, well, regional planning's seen it. I mean, if this is going toward a continuance, which I'm not making any commitments either way, but I'm just reading the room. If it's going that way, is there time, we have to look at calendar and 5/19/12 as far as, is there time to get it in the door, noticed, put on for the next meeting so that it can then match back up with this one?
Well, let's work
The
on that.
only hiccup is that regional planning, we're now backwards on that, you know what I mean? Like, supposed to go submit to township, township sends to regional planning. It has gone to regional planning first. I just kinda have to think about it, I'm not opposed to it, so just, at this point, it's just food for thought, more like, just can we harmonize, if that's still your intention to do, which I'm not.
That's what everybody
Fine, give you
recommended,
to
because
do.
if we kept it PRD, it just is weird. So they recommended to go back to that.
Legally, you can keep it at PRD, it's just that strip of land now is PRD with no.
But it has a house on it that's existing.
Right, it's kind of like, it's just kicking the can, right? It's somebody else's problem at some point, because they're gonna go,
We're just gonna.
PRD, like, what does that mean?
Revert it back, so it's the same as everybody
It's
else.
sensible, I just don't know how to, okay, we're on the same, but I was gonna point out that on page, exhibit B4 you had in the packet that you handed out, this still reflects lot to revert back to FR1 with this final development plan.
It's not really. Yeah.
Well, no, maybe you're not, if we can figure it out, that's okay, but if we can't, I would just suggest
Yes,
that's legally not
correct.
accurate,
They're
if it's
two
not.
separate. They're two separate.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying, if we can get the township line, but if they don't align, include this application approved independent of.
Oh, no, this is totally just a thinking, I mean, I feel like you guys are probably like, yeah, that'd be nice if we could get it, and I'm going, yeah, that'd be beautiful, we can put it together, but
They
if
will
it
be
doesn't
different.
work out, there's no legal impediment whatsoever to them running.
They're not relying
They're
on
not.
one or the other.
They're- That's right.
They will be together by the time they hit a trust, trustees, I know that. I hope we don't have two hearings on the FR1.
Those are my two. Thank you, Madam Chair.
It'll be your first time.
Okay, how about our zoning inspector, anything to add?
My concerns have been brought up already, so nothing else to add.
All right, any audience members have things they would like to add?
I have a question.
Certainly, you want to tell us your name, please?
Yeah, Bill Shepherd, I live at 3770 Hyatt Road. I was wondering about, when we went through this a couple of years ago, we talked about being able to connect to the sewer system. Will we still be, have that, chance?
So, my understanding is yes, there's always a fee involved, so I
Certainly.
have no idea what that would be. Does anybody else have any clarity on that? Bill, what do you
I don't have any, I mean,
Typically, once it's
Extending.
available, they permit surrounding neighbors to tap in, but it's first of all, not part of the zoning's purview, so I can't even answer you. So that's Delaware Water and Sewer, correct?
It was brought up at the trustees meeting when this came around a
Okay,
couple of years ago.
sure.
And, they said we would be able to, but I understand it's different
Right.
developers.
I had this 30 years ago, our home, they put a development near us, and we were able to tap in. So I know historically that has been the answer, it's okay, cost us a fortune, but it was good. So Delaware County Sewer and Water is really gonna be the big decision maker on that, but I know of no reason that you could not, except for the prohibitive cost.
Yeah, the tap fees are.
Tap fees are nuts. And you have to, you know,
Yeah.
create your own line out to where the tap is. And of course, I don't know the position of your home in alignment with what they've got proposed, how many feet that is, but typically they do permit that.
Sir, could you state your address again?
3770 Pyatt Road. Shepherd.
Yeah. Perfect, thank you, sir.
Maybe,
Just-
Mr. Shepherd, you may be able to call, I mean, is it useful for him to call Delaware County Water and Sewer?
Yeah.
And they may be able to help you more.
You have to call the Delaware County sanitary engineer's office.
Okay.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I will say you're across the street from me, and I do have city water. I don't have it, but you can create it across the street. Oh, you sewer? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've got Delco Water.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
We've got an aeration system.
Yeah, okay. Now that makes sense. Okay, I just think right across the street.
And just to be nosy, what's the frontage on lot number 1? Which one's lot number 1? Probably not. What are those are 80s, so that's 100 foot? Oh, just wondered,
Yeah.
you had a issue with 4 feet with lots 2 and 3. Why can't you carve out a little bit of 1? Just change the geometry on that a little bit.
We could, typically we make corner lots 20 foot bigger because it's side yard setbacks and stuff, but that's another way of dealing with it too. So, thank you. Glad to pay you.
Like I said, I was being nosy.
Thanks.
The tap fee.
All right, any other audience members have things to add?
One quick one, with the drive, that's coming out, next to the temple over there, are we adding any type of stoplights? Is that a wide driveway? What is the proposed plan? I'm just thinking about 144 cars, you know, on average, probably 2 cars per household coming out of here. Is there a stoplight we're thinking about, or is that something the zoning committee handles?
There's
Kind of throwing
a turn lane, it's just a turn lane going
Okay.
northbound.
Can you state your name and address too, please?
Oh, yeah, actually, Kyle Sumner, 3703 High Road.
So would you guys like to respond to that? I know stoplight is not in the option, that's not part of zoning purview anyway. But there are usually requirements based on traffic studies for left-hand turn lanes and ins and outs, but I'll let you guys talk about that.
We'll let our engineer answer that. They
Got
did
an
a traffic
engineer here,
study.
go for it.
Yeah, that is correct. We did a traffic study. It's almost approved. There's just a couple of small details we need to finalize with the county engineer, and it does require it's not going to be a single list.
Did they also do one then, just out of curiosity, for High as well? Just assuming that, and not a stoplight, but more like a roundabout? I was just assuming, I mean, we already have. Oh, is there a couple? Oh, okay, I didn't realize that.
That's a county project.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we had any previews or by chance.
They don't need any.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. That's why.
Okay.
Okay, did that answer your questions?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
I know there's a lot of crosstalk, so I lost, sorry. Okay, any other comments anywhere around you?
So the letter that was dated the 5th, the memorandum, is that what needs approved to the traffic?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a couple of small things need updated in that. But it's essentially the same recommendations or results.
I have one quick question. Can you just confirm from the sort of see on the map, that there's planted in that gap right there, the only lots that have like no tree line, no to your left?
Name and address, please.
3885 Rusty Sampson. My backyard.
Right, your backyard right there. It's right here?
Yeah, the opening, no.
Oh, right here.
Right here.
Yes, I am showing some,
That's what I thought,
landscaping there.
it's really small, so I can't tell much.
In general, on that eastern property line, there is a lot of existing trees.
Except for on mine.
Except for where yours is. My hope is not to destroy any of the existing vegetation on the property line, but infilling where available, and that would be your lot, or where trees get thin and screening is needed, infilling there.
So is there gonna be a mound with trees there?
Definitely trees, no room for mound at that point.
Okay, what are the proposed trees?
They would be evergreen, or do you have a preference?
Green giants would be good.
Green giants?
Green giants you get. Hopefully they were Colorado spruce. I love them. So does the fungus and stuff around here.
Yeah, it's funny, I tried to grow one here, tried it twice, and didn't.
They do great for that.
Like I said, I think right now your plan, Q is swamp, white oak, and heritage river birch.
Well, that's not very good screen now.
No.
Just sure it's not, it's good, it got brought up then.
I have one more question.
Sorry.
At the back of my lot, the drawing of my lot line and stuff shows a 10-foot easement at the back of it. Are you guys gonna be on that easement, or will you be to the west of it?
I'm not sure where on the map you're.
Okay, where you, what made me think of it is you were talking about the existing vegetation. My lot is right here. I have some big oak trees. There's a, showing a 10-foot easement through here from the back of my lot to where this field starts. And there's some very large oak trees. A couple of them are in that easement, a couple of them are on my property. I just wondered if we were gonna lose those.
Is the easement on your property?
No, it wouldn't be mine if it was an easement.
Easement's Doug's property.
I didn't know if when you went through there, if you would be on that easement or if you had to leave.
In that area, I don't foresee needing to destroy any trees, and it's not my desire to destroy any of those larger trees back there.
What kind of easement is it?
I don't know, it just says 10-foot easement.
Where does it say that at?
The lot line drawings that I have.
Oh, well, there might be, yeah, it's a good question, I don't know.
Could have
But
been-
it shows it off of your property on that farm field?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know, we'll have to check the alter.
I didn't know if you would still leave that 10-foot there or build on it or what. I mean, what you'd be building would be your mountain landscaping. That's curious.
Yeah, it's.
So I imagine everybody has.
But please leave his oak trees,
Yeah.
is what he's getting at.
There.
It could have been a provisional easement for electrical or sewer in the future.
I don't, it doesn't say what it's for.
Yeah, we do that in Colorado, we just make easements that we have to take people's houses out.
All right, well then I will close discussion. Move to our applicants for how you would like to proceed this evening.
I would like to continue this to a date, I would assume certain. I don't know if you are, I don't know if you have looked at anything, but if we could get stuff up to the township, literally the application is signed and ready to go. I don't even think there's a fee within that R1 application. But we can have that for you. If there's a check, Karen might take a day. Can you be able to write a check tomorrow? We'll have something up to your office tomorrow, so we can get that in the works. But when do you normally meet? Is it monthly?
We meet twice a month. Our next meeting is January 27th. However, we do like to have, yes, I'm sure you do too.
Well, we gotta change it.
Right.
next meeting after the 27th would be February 10th, Tuesday.
Is that free? Do we have any?
We don't have.
But
any
you would need all the documents 2 weeks prior?
Yes.
27.
I would like to go if you have something later in February.
Later than the.
Yes, 24th. Would that be
February
your time?
24th would be the meeting after that.
I would prefer that.
Okay.
That gives us time to make those modifications, do it correctly.
Sure.
and You guys don't care if you have extra 2 weeks, right?
No.
With the postal area, are you gonna put Amazon lock boxes in there too?
That detail, if you look at it, it has a big area that's for that.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it's Amazon, but it's for part of the USPS brings.
Yeah, they give you the key, but Amazon doesn't have access to it. They have Amazon
Not yet,
lock boxes.
not yet. They probably will.
They can go through your garage.
Don't fly it.
They do, I saw that on my app, I can let them in my garage now. So if we can go February 24th. I should check before I say that.
The dirt path that goes in the trees.
Yeah, that's perfect. So we would need to have materials back to you by.
Yes.
Is that the other thing?
Yes.
So that gives you enough time to get the other back, or to us and to regional planning and back?
Well, regional planning are done.
So go ahead, what I'll say is, go ahead and submit that other property, like, we can't do anything with it, right? Whether we can get it on the same schedule, I'll just have to take a look at, like, the law, and if it matters, that we have it. So,
And if
I'll
we-
take,
if
if
we
you
have
get it in
to-
the door, I'll see what I can do about harmonizing it up.
Yeah.
If we can't, we can't, but basically, I'd be trying to see if can we argue that, we just got it out of order, but we've checked all the boxes, the law requires us to check, so, that's the question.
That's a fair amount of time. It seems like
Yeah.
we might be able to.
That if it technically, that's what I was thinking, it's technically out of order, but we are putting it back in order.
Right, no, I follow you. I don't know if, I mean, I might just call Scott, regional planning. Want to see this again, or you just want to see it the one time? So we'll look at that, but get it in the door. Start the.
All right, so.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Motion to continue to date and time certain, February 24th, 2026, 7 p.m. here in the Township Hall.
Okay, Mr. DeGrisser?
Yes.
Mr. Goshen? Ms. Shields? Ms. Brown? And Ms. Kaplan?
Yes. Great, well, thank you.
Thank you.
A motion to adjourn?
Well, I got a couple things.
Yes. Yes, let's keep it to what's the best way, phone number or email or?
Audience, I would just say, we're still having our meeting, so, we're glad you're here.
Todd, we're still meeting.
We're still in session. So,
You can go ahead.
So, Philip, first meeting with us, do you have any information you want to relay to us as a board, or still just observing?
Hey folks, we appreciate that you all wanna have continuing conversations. Ask you to either keep it down for the next couple minutes if they need to finish the meeting, or take them outside. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have anything to add right now,
Okay.
but I'm happy to work with you guys going forward. It's gonna be a good partnership, and I'm here to help through these processes.
We're thrilled to have you.
Yeah.
Okay. Finding our footing in 2026.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
We definitely understand the acclimatization process. that
Yes.
We've all gone through.
I've read a couple
I've only
times.
heard good things about it.
Well, that's good. Can you read
Yeah, you must have talked.
So we don't have any other meeting or information from, this table. Anybody here got anything? We're going, you guys are,
Do we have any other applications coming through?
Yeah.
I know that there was an email that came out that said we had 3 or 4
Yeah,
possible
right.
ones.
there's,
but
I don't
then-
think, I asked Cindy today, and said, well, I was mostly asking about 27. If we had anything on 28, and no, was the answer.
I don't think anything's been submitted
Yeah.
yet.
So, do we want to meet still on the 27th and do sort of a red line? We have put on the resolution.
So we can, do you have that red line copy? Right
I
now?
know they emailed it to us, but I don't think they printed it.
Okay.
I mean, that's been,
From Crossroads or from before Crossroads?
we'll see, and that, there's some, a little bit of muddiness to me, because at our meeting on December 8th, Crossroads presented a great deal of information that I don't think ever made it into writing.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I don't know, we could check with them though, but I kinda doubt
I
it.
kind of don't know. Yeah, I
That
thought
was
the
a big
Crossroads,
picture broader.
it was a big picture. I thought they were gonna be with us till the end of the month, so my plan was to ask tonight, but, I guess their time is done, so that avenue is closed. I mean, it was.
Well, we can ask the question, I mean, I can ask the question.
Yeah,
But the question.
We have a red line from Levi.
right.
Yeah.
Still a red line from Lee. And our goal was to complete that in 2025, so obviously we did not meet that goal. I would love to get that out for us. And if there's more big picture stuff, and I think there is, can we deal with that separately? Complete what we started, once again, with Levi and Jerry. And it's like the Golden Gate Bridge, right? We're never gonna be completely done. I would love to, complete all the things we worked on really through 2025. And then if there's more ambitious stuff coming, get to it. But it is hard to evaluate that red line, at home in between phone calls and the dog walks. So it might be nice to have a meeting that we can, just as a group.
And
Yeah,
then,
as a work session.
have a projector maybe.
Do we have a projector? I have one.
I have one, but it's not clear.
I don't know, your, top or, I might be able to put it up on the projector.
I have a projector
I mean,
or
this thing.
we can tie into that and not have the live stream.
So.
I mean, we could have the live stream, but not have the live stream showing.
Well, I'd like to propose that we use that meeting time to work on that. As much as I'd love to have, a night playing hooky. But I think it'd be great to be able to do that. And hopefully if anybody knows anybody that wants to potentially apply to be on the commission, we do have 3 positions. I guess, Bill, you said there's been 1 application. I've reached out to a couple friends who live in neighborhoods to see if they would post it with their HOA.
So, I know that it was the last time that a position was posted, there were a couple of people that had applications. Can you go back to what those I don't know who
I don't
they
even know who
were.
would have gotten those at this point.
I know that Megan was, Trustee Rail was there.
Okay.
So I don't know if she has a way of going back to what those applications were to see if those people are still interested.
It's a good question.
You can ask her.
Yeah.
Or ask the administrator if she's access to.
Yeah.
The file, that would be completely unusual, right, just like that business, to keep a file past that.
Exactly,
So,
yes.
Yep.
But I know that we had a couple of people.
Is there a reason they didn't?
Well, one of them, I remember that one of them, there were too many of us in one area.
Oh,
And so I think that that's why. But on the other hand, if we have spots open, and we do, then
Two
It's 3. Wait,
Two.
no, it's 2. I don't know why I said 3. Oh, BZA, I'm thinking of BZA.
Yeah.
Okay. BZA
This
has
is
1, 2.
BZA, because we have 2 spots here with them, and we have 1 with BZA.
Right. Because ordinarily our alternate, which is you, would move into a regular slot. And I know your travel has really inhibited your ability to do that. So one of the people, I think theoretically at least, would move right on to the commission.
Yes.
So it would be helpful if they had some previous experience and knowledge. But,
Yeah.
but, anyway, so think of any ways to help make that happen. Think I have anything else. Anybody else? Should we adjourn?
Yes.
Okay, let's adjourn. Thank you, everybody. Are we gonna see you again in the next 6 months?
Yeah,